Connecting Arizona. 12 News Today starts now.
Good morning. Your time is 4:30 on a Monday morning, and we begin with a severe weather alert. Flooding, road closures, very real danger out there this morning. It is going to be a rough Monday morning out there. It is already. If you are just waking up this morning, Mother Nature is on a tear. Thunder, lightning, lots of rain, flooding just in the last couple of hours, and it is not letting up anytime soon.
But you can see the water up to the wheel wells of these vehicles. We've seen some people who have been stranded decide that they're going to wade across the lanes of I-10, and when they come across, the water is at least up to their knees, Faye. It has been raining here for quite a while. It stopped for 10 or 15 minutes. It slowed down, and then it got worse. But again, it's just adding to this problem. 43rd Avenue and I-10 to 51st Avenue and I-10. And Faye, if you thought you could luck out by getting off on the surface streets, McDowell, just north of the freeway here, between 43rd and 51st, that's a mess too. There's a lot of water to some stranded drivers there.
This rainfall is going to continue to move this way to the north and the northeast. As far as statewide, we are under flash flood watches across the whole state, meaning conditions could be just right for flooding. But here in the valley, we have a flash flood warning all the way from Cave Creek across just about a huge chunk of Maricopa County, Buckeye, Avondale, South Mountain, Litchfield Park. Those areas that have flooded before could really be getting hit hard right now. Our crews are all over the place. We can't be everywhere, but you can, so please send in your weather pictures.
So our drivers here, 59th, again at 51st, and then at 43rd Avenue, they want no drivers out there. And from what that live shot you were just looking at from our ADOT camera, there are unfortunately drivers that are out there and stranded this morning, so it's just not worth it. Again, standing water the whole way through on the 10. We're hopping over to the 17. You saw that live shot there from Grant, where we do have another closure. Also on the 17, right near Indian School Road, we have a closure here as well. You can see all of the cars that are just being taken off. And then again, 17 and Greenway is another closure for our drivers. Taking a wider look here. All right. So the 17, even if you are on the 17, even if you can get there, you're going at the most 20 miles per hour. Same for folks here on the 51 and out here on the 10. So even if you get to these highways, you're not going fast at all.
Another very bad scene this morning. Good morning to you, Tricia.
Good morning, Faye. We love this rain, and it is soaking wet out here, but this is a real problem spot. You can see right now the water is about at my ankles. So
let's show you some of the pictures that we are getting in from all of you this morning. You are our eyes and our cameras in many cases in many neighborhoods out there, and you can see some of the very dramatic images we're getting in on our 12 News Facebook page and that you're tweeting us as well.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at this red car here. This is something that Faye wanted to keep an eye on, and you can see the water now starting to go over the trunk area of this red car. We are in the westbound area of the 10 at 43rd Avenue, and it's just a big lake here.
You guys put out the word earlier today saying if you don't have to get out there, please postpone your commute. Is that still in effect?
Well, basically, yes, because this, as you've been reporting, this storm system is, with some periodic let-ups, there's going to be another system moving in. So we expect this still, in terms of our highways, to be a mess. We're going to have a lot of flooded conditions, a lot of very slick highways. Traffic is not moving well anywhere in the Metro freeway system right now.
You're looking at Tempe School District bus drivers who ran their routes this morning. Also, there's bus assistants. They came out here. They've now bagged 80 bags of sand, 50 pounds each. They're going to get them to Rover Elementary, an area that's been hard hit by flooding. Rover Elementary on Watson between McClintock and Lakeshore. Residents going there to pick up the bags. They're stacking them behind us in this truck. This truck is going to leave shortly with those bags. And joining me right now is Jermaine Bethea, one of the bus drivers who came out here this morning. Jermaine, good to see you.
Yes, sir.
How crazy was the ride this morning?
Oh, it was really wild. I mean, at some point I thought I was going to have to turn my bus into a boat. We had water everywhere. A lot of the intersections were, they had lights that weren't working, red lights on both directions. The traffic was just crazy. And at some point, I didn't know if I were going to have any students, but there were a lot of dedicated students out there that were still, ready to go to school.
Good morning, everyone. Take a look at this. This is the underpass at the I-17 and Greenway. as I'm getting a look at some of the areas around here that are flooded. So the on and off ramps here on the I-17 are closed. Another woman over here was stalled. Workers were helping her, but 3 cars, you can't see one of them, 3 cars are stuck there underneath the freeway. This is Armando. He told me in Spanish, he said that he was on his way just after 3 this morning. He got stuck under here trying to get to the bakery where he works. His boss didn't believe him.
The paint was fresh. It had just been finished Saturday. Now all of that work is completely gone. They're going to have to redo everything again if they want to stay in here. And believe it or not, they actually do want to stay in here. Now take a look at how deep all of this water is. It's gone down by about an inch, maybe even 2 inches. And I don't want to go too far this way because the driveway ends somewhere in here and we drop off into the dirt. And I made the mistake of stepping in there a minute ago. It's nothing but mud.
Good morning, Faye. You might remember earlier we showed you a bunch of school bus drivers and their assistants filling sandbags, 50-pound sandbags after driving the route. Well, they came here just a few minutes later to Rover Elementary, and that's where they put the sand. Over there, they are trying to protect the school from the waters that are pouring in from that park over there. It's kind of a retaining area for water.
Hey, thank you so much. Right now, we want to check in with Chris Williams, who has been live off I-10 near 43rd Avenue, where it clearly has been a lake, but that lake seems to have receded a bit. Right, Chris?
It has, Trey. I mean, as you look back, this is one of the few cars left in this area, 43rd Avenue and the I-10. And I'm going to really watch my step here because I don't want to fall on live television here. But this is what we're talking about. It's the slow up for getting I-10 open in this area. This mud is extremely slick. And when you put it on top of the concrete that's out there, the pavement.
From the 12 News Studios, this is EVB Live.
Last night, the city of Phoenix and our entire region saw levels of rainfall we haven't seen in nearly a century. Because of the extensive damage we see throughout the city, and because of the situation ongoing, I declared a state of emergency in the city of Phoenix and have activated our city's Emergency Operations Center.
The sun is shining again after the storm of the century here in the valley, but the damage is done as plenty of homeowners are dealing with massive flooding. Out west in Buckeye, some neighborhoods are still underwater. Their homes completely surrounded. The record rainfall today is something that will definitely be talked about for years to come.
And our hearts definitely go out to all of the people who are watching us right now who've been affected in one way or the other by these floods. I want to give you a live look right now. If you didn't know that it flooded overnight, you wouldn't know it by this. It just looks like another beautiful afternoon here in Phoenix as our roof cam kind of pans around the downtown area. But it was big, it was heavy, and it was historic. These floods prompted Phoenix Mayor, as you heard at the top of the show, Phoenix Mayor Greg Stanton, to declare a state of emergency, and that automatically activated the city's Emergency Operations Center.
Emergency and city crews have been working nonstop around the clock to help assist people who've been affected by all of that flooding. The Red Cross also opened up 2 shelters today, one at Copper Canyon High School in Glendale, the other at Betty Fairfax High in Levine. A distraught Danielle Brownlee came to that shelter in need of help. Her home was flooded this morning, and she managed to get her kids out safely, and she reacted to the mayor's emergency declaration an hour ago.
Good, because it is.
Anything else you want to say?
Just, we need some help. Seriously.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Definitely is heartbreaking. Phoenix leaders are scheduled to hold another news conference updating the public on all the flooding. We are monitoring that for the latest developments. And of course, we will bring you any new information as soon as we receive it. Well, the entire valley has been hit hard by the record-breaking rain.
And with all of this rain, there was also some lightning depending on where you live in the valley. And that led to the destruction of an entire home. This home was burned to the ground by a lightning strike. Kevin Kennedy begins our live team coverage. He's out in Levine. Kev.
Yeah, Mark, I think all of us felt this storm or heard this storm overnight, but for one family, it was literally a race to survive. About 2:30 in the morning, the home you see behind me was hit by a lightning strike. You can take a look right now inside this garage. The entire roof of this home basically came crashing inside. Now, understand, as we kind of walk you in towards the front of the home, 6 people inside this home at the time. 5 of them were asleep. Fortunately, one person was actually up just because of the rain and the noise, heard the lightning strike, but didn't think it actually hit this house. Well, about 30 or 45 minutes later, he looked outside to look at the rain in the backyard. That's when he saw embers and smoke. He raced, got the other 5 people up, including a baby who was sleeping in a crib. They all raced outside. Within about 5 minutes after they were outside, this home completely.
This is 12 News at 10.
It started falling overnight. The freeways flooded, drivers stranded, and the mayor spoke out.
I declared a state of emergency in the city of Phoenix.
The water kept rising, neighborhoods underwater.
Streets still flooded, crews still working, and now homeowners in Mesa here tell us they're taking off for the night. We'll tell you why.
In a time of crisis, people came together.
An Ahwatukee church underwater, and Good Samaritans rise to the surface.
Mother Nature hammered a lightning bolt through a house. Washes out of control.
I've lived here all my life. Have not seen it rain that hard.
Parks became rivers. Is there more on radar? And where does the monsoon meter stand tonight?
No question, today was dangerous. It was damaging, and for some, absolutely delightful.
Kayaks, jet skis, and horses, oh my. All part of something we've never seen after the storm of the century. Good evening. The heavy rain may have passed, but the fallout from this historic storm is far from over. Tonight, the mayor of Mesa says massive flooding has hit up to 125 homes in the East Valley.
No, I've been through 200-year floods as a professional firefighter, emergency service worker. I've never seen anything like this. All the way through the southeast part of this city, I started touring this morning with our emergency personnel. We've never seen anything like it.
None of us have seen anything like this. Phoenix has not had this kind of rainfall in over 100 years. Tonight, complete team coverage of flooded homes, churches, freeways, and what more is on the way. We begin tonight with the mess left behind in Mesa. Canals were flooded and neighborhoods were evacuated near the US 60 and Stapley. Let's go live to Gia Vang for the latest. Gia?
And Lynn Sue, that's exactly it. It is still quite a mess out here. As you can see, we're standing on Harris. The road is blocked off by barricades. There are several other roads in and around the area that are blocked off as well. But the water is receding, and we want to show you just some perspective on that. As you can see, the line of debris where it started and then where the water is now. But streets off into the distance, you can see still flooded back there. And tonight, SRP, we just got off the phone with them. They're waiting to get the green light from the fire department to shut down power so crews can repair damaged transformers. But some residents we spoke to aren't waiting around. It's a trek just to get home for Aaron Vigil and his family, maneuvering through flooded streets and sidewalks in a neighborhood near Stapley and the US 60.
That's crazy. I've never seen this.
But at least their Mesa home is spared. The water line reaching their home, but sandbags kept it dry. And now
it gets me at first.
Aaron and his family, kids and all, make the block-and-a-half walk to their car.
We got to park clear over here because couldn't even make it into the driveway after work.
Heavy items in hand.
I really just start closing all the stuff in the fridge so it doesn't go bad.
That's because they say they could be without power for the night if they stay.
We were told that SRP is turning off the power here shortly, so we're just getting everything out.
Earlier in the day,
on Hilton, the water was up to my hips.
Families survey the watery site, and for dinner, some call on the pizza guy, while Mesa Fire and Rescue crews continue to assess damage, and other crews work to restore that flooded retention basin. And back out here live, all of this water in the streets, on the sidewalks, happening because canals operated by ADOT close by overflowed. There was nowhere left for the water to go, except right where we're standing right now. Be sure to check in with 12 News tomorrow for the latest updates on this. Gia Vang, 12 News.
All right, Gia, thanks. Sunday services are still planned for a church in Ahwatukee after the storm caused an estimated $1 million worth of damage. So much rain came down in such a short amount of time that the sanctuary...
We had 3.29 inches at Sky Harbor. That shattered a 75-year-old record, which was 2.91. That happened in 1939, but it ended up being the most rain we've ever had in one single day out at Phoenix Sky Harbor.